Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on Humanity Healing. And thank you, Humanity Healing, for allowing me to uh, be a part of your community and the greater whole that you represent for all of us on this beautiful Friday morning here on the west coast of Maine, southwest coast of Maine, which is a strange dialogue, but that's geographically where we are, or I am. And I bless you. We've got a little cloudiness and a little drizzle, which we need rain, and we continue to uh, ask for rain for all the parts of the world that are now suffering from a lack of rain. So, with that said, excuse me, Smroning's talk is a word that came up for me last week, I believe, or the week before, or maybe the week before. It keeps popping up. It's called recalibration. And it's something I did 29 years ago or 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, when I died and came back into this body, into this physicality, this world that we live in. And yet we are part of so much more than we can ever understand, that even in all of the teachings of all the people who have experienced that, there's a variety of stories. And the message from all of those is that it's real, that it's real. It's not our imagination. And when we come back into this physical form, there is a period of what I call recalibration. And I didn't really understand it at the level I now understand it at. And I feel that I'm going through the same process, but I'm not having to leave my body in order to do it. We're doing it in-house. And this is my talk with each of you this morning, is so many of us, because of the virus, have gone through so much that each one of us are in this process of recalibration. Good morning, Marina. Good to see you. And I have a deck of cards in my hand. They're called the 1111 alignment cards. And this was one of my first recalibration tools uh, when a few years after I came back. And I found this deck, and it just encouraged me. And I'm just going to randomly pull a card. And the card is, if you can see it, abundance. It's abundance. And what you see there is a chalice. And it says endless flow. And I've often talked about how we are a chalice, on that when the energy flows into us, all we have to do is bend forward, just slightly bend forward, and allow that to flow, to overflow the chalice. That's the light, the love, the peace that we truly are, and allow it to flow without direction, without cause, without purpose, just sharing that abundance. And the message of this card is, I receive, I receive, I receive all that I am given. What does that have to do with recalibration? As I sit here and look at those two words, receive and recalibration, I realize that the process of recalibration that we're all going through is about receiving. And what it means is that we are receiving the true energy frequencies that we really are, the true ones, not the ones that we've learned in school, not the ones we've learned at church, not the ones we've learned from our parents and grandparents, not the ones that the scientists and the evolutionists are trying to tell us the real deal, the real presence of who we are. And this is what's causing the recalibration. And it's not only us that are recalibrating, it's the entire planet that's recalibrating. It's a universal recalibration. And it extends as far out as we can imagine and as far in as we can imagine. And the other day I wrote something, a poem or whatever it was, and we've been talking about unity all week. And when we look at the world and we go within, we've been talking about how do we go within. We think it's this shallow physical body. And I expressed that we are as deep within us as when we look out to the stars, how deep that is in the other direction. This is recalibration of humanity. This is a recalibration of planet Earth. This is not just a small moment in what we humans call history. And as this word arose in my life recently, it was as if the sun or the moon were peeking over the horizon and saying, "Hello, Charlie. We are here to help you. We are here to give you the light that you need to transform, to transmute, to become more of who you truly are." And that's the message I have for each of you this morning, is that each of you have so much more that's a part of you that needs to come forward now. And as this is World Unity Week, although not so much in the public news, but in the news for those who are attuned to it, around the world, people are gathering and talking about unity and the power of unity. And you can even go to my Facebook page, and I wrote a beautiful message for the Global Heart Team yesterday for unity. And what it's really about is shifting our conscious awareness and remembering that we are all a living presence here on Mother Earth, which is also a living presence. And as humans, we've been led to believe so many things that are just not true. And it's being proven they're not true. And yet people are still following them and saying, "Oh, no, we have to do it this way. No, this is," and we're being led by people who refuse to accept truth, even when it's in front of them and they can't deny it, because they're so stuck in a place of greed and power. And they're not thinking with what we would call a rational mind. What they're thinking of is profit. What they're thinking of is they have a right to tear apart planet Earth to make themselves wealthier, or to change the structure of the planet, or to change the structure of humanity genetically. And this is a dangerous place in our evolution. And what's happening now is we're being called to go within, to dive within this heart space and dive as deep as we possibly can and keep that, I'm going to call it a pool of wonder, open, so that sometimes when we can become overwhelmed, we can pop back out and dive back down again. It's like finding the bottom, the deepest place in the ocean, which humanity's doing. We're trying to find the deepest place in the ocean with electronics and all of this other stuff. Let's do that within ourselves, because in that deeper space lies the truth, the real truth of who and what we are. And it's no longer to be directed by others who say, I have the right, I have the answer. I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm in the process, just like you are, and everyone in this world, of recalibrating and relooking at life from a completely different point of view, a point of view of wholeness, of unity, that we are a human experience. Collectively, each one of us are a part of each other. And no matter how we describe or try to separate from each other, it's impossible. And yes, the scientists know this. The doctors know this. The rulers of the world know this. But they won't give up their addiction to power and greed. And I'm not here to talk about them. I'm here to talk about us. But I want to put it in the context of why is this recalibration happening? And when we think of recalibration, the first thing came to me was old clocks. How do you recalibrate the time? And there was a process. Now we have electronic clocks that, how do you recalibrate those? How do you recalibrate something so that it is back in synchronous movement? And that's what we've done. We've become out of sync with the rest of the universe. And we think we're more powerful than that universe. And that universe is part of our creation story. So the message today that I put in the sidebar basically is question for you. How am I personally experiencing recalibration? And it's not a light question, and it's not really a very deep question. It's just a question that we don't necessarily ask ourselves. We know we're changing. We know, and we can say, how am I changing? But we can change without recalibrating. What we do is we just change into something, the next something. Recalibration is really about us taking a deeper inner look of how we act to certain things, how we react to certain things, how the environment affects us, how our neighbors affect us, how the system of communication affects us. And looking at it from a perspective of what needs to be tweaked a little or adjusted, or it's just 1 degree out of balance. And it can be that small. 1 degree out of 360 out of balance has an effect on us. So the message today about recalibration is for all of us to not fear it, to know that it's going to be a challenge, to know that many things are going to rise up to our awareness, and we're going to say, I don't want to deal with this today. No, I'm not ready for this. Or I can't do this. I don't know how. We will go into a place of tearing ourselves apart, many of us, in order to try to avoid it. And the message right now is, it's not to be avoided. This is the time for us to call on the strength within and know that we have the power and we have the assistance to co-create together as a unified field of humanity, to reset and recalibrate not only humanity, not only our individual selves, but the planetary itself, the planet itself. And if we don't, the planet will recalibrate on its own. And it's not going to be a very positive human experience. We are not more powerful than everything else around us. We are part of that power. We are all a part of the universe. We are part of the earth. And that, all of that is part of us. This is the unity that's coming to me this week as I listen to so many others speak about unity and how to embrace it. And for me, it's to look and see that I am part of everything, and everything is part of me. And the only issue I have is to say, what part of me is not in alignment with everything else? And take personal responsibility for that. We can do this. We are more powerful than we've ever imagined. And that power and energy now is, I would say, what's called gateways are opened now for us to tap into that universal power. Not the power of computers, not the power of technology, not the power of genetics, not the power that people who want to manipulate others are in control of. I'm talking about this heart right here, your heart. This is the key to the future of humanity. And each one of you have had it unlocked, whether you wanted it unlocked or not. And this is what's happening for all of us, is for us to come back into the realization that our hearts are calling us home from our minds, reconnecting us to Mother Earth, reconnecting us to the universe around us, and inviting us to become whole again, or holy, if you will. What is the definition of holy? Yes, we've changed the words, we've changed the spelling, we've changed all of this. We've changed the meanings of everything to fit into a world we wanted to mentally create. And we're amazingly powerful beings. Look at what we have done. But right now, we're at a place where we're creating things and we're moving into spaces where our true human awareness is limited, and intentionally limited, because it will create as much devastation if used incorrectly as it does wonder and miracles. So here we are dealing with artificial intelligence. Here we are dealing with energetic forces that are being controlled by machines. Here we are having lost a lot of our ability to see everything as it truly is. It's almost like a mirage or a movie. We're fascinated with movies, and what as movies is really, it's light and sound put on a screen, made to look real, made to affect us energetically. And it works, and it's wonderful. But the recalibration right now is to see the truth through all of it, to be able to have that laser vision, to see through the illusion, to see through all that is not really in full calibration with the greater whole of creation. And it's funny, as I wrote my notes, and I encourage people to read my blog. You can find it. It's Reflections of Riverman. Just type in Charlie Riverman Bergeron. You'll find out all more than I can tell you about myself. As a matter of fact, this is the 199th talk I've given here on humanity healing, and I don't even know how I've done that. But this is where we are. This is where we are. We're a living planet. We're a living being. And we're being asked to recalibrate in order to come closer and more aligned with all of life, all of the life on this living planet. And there's life on this living planet that is scientifically addressed as living, yet people don't believe it. And the scientists know it, and the scientists dismiss it. And we allow corporations and people to dig it up out of the ground, and it's alive. But they're going to burn it and use it for fuel, or they're going to do this with it, and they're going to do with that, because they feel they have this right, this right to do anything they want. And there's a price, a dear price that we're all paying for right now for that behavior and that thought pattern. So for those of you who are listening, I know you're attuned to your higher self, or you're seeking to go and attack and listen deeper to that part of you. And I encourage you to look inside of you and see ask you, where is the recalibration in me? What do I need to recalibrate? And know that it's not as tough as you may think it is. The world around us always tell us you can't do this. But all we're dealing with, in truth, is just a distortion in the greater field of resonance, which in its natural state is a state of perfection. And that state of perfection is in auto-correct right now. And we are either with it or we're not. And that's our choice. That's the recalibration for me became such a challenge. I felt challenged. I felt, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm confused. Don't judge what arises to dismiss the fact that we need to come back into the true light and love that we are. Be kind, be gentle, especially with yourselves. First of all, with yourselves. Let go of what no longer serves you in a beneficent and wonderful way. A lot of changes. But we can do this. We can do this because look at our evolutionary process, if you will. Even though it's, as it's written, is not all correct. It's written to the minds of those who wanted to make it right and make it correct. But our evolutionary process is really about us remembering the power, the light, the love, the compassion that we came from. And it doesn't mean when we came from someplace, we didn't bring it with us, because it isn't outside of us. You can't leave yourself somewhere and go somewhere. You can pretend that's what you did. You can make stories that say that's what you did. But the truth is, we came. We are here. And we are there as well. And there, and there, and there, and whatever place within the field, the greater field is. And that's beyond our understanding at this moment. And it's beyond our understanding on many levels intentionally. We're like children playing with matches. Not a good scenario. So I ask each of you to take that book of matches that you have in your hands and relearn what that is used for, and to let go of what is no longer. This red, this color of fire, that's what I was guided when I looked in my closet. What am I going to wear for a shirt? And the minute I saw this, it was fire. We have to burn away that which no longer serves us, that which not longer serves us as a collective whole, not just me individually, not just my children, the children of the world. Every child that's being born is another one of us. It doesn't matter if they're born in the jungles of the wild. It doesn't matter if they're born in the kingdoms, the richest kingdoms. They're us. We are them. So, in recalibration, the message from me to you is to be gentle and kind. Gentle and kind to yourself first. Come down from this mind and realize that this is beautiful, this is wonderful, this has got us where we are, but it's not who we are. This is who we are. Many have written it, the longest journey in life is from here to here. We're on that journey. And we're on that journey all together now. It's not like, well, this group over here is going to do it and that group over there, or this one person. We are now all collectively on that journey. And allow space within yourself to be nurturing. You know, we can give great care and nurturing to others, but we have this greater capacity to deny ourselves of the same love and compassion. Let's start applying that love and compassion to this space right here, our heart. There's billions and billions of cells, and I don't even know what the scientific name for them, flowing through our veins all the time. Communicate with that part of yourself. The healers really aren't outside of us. We all have the power to heal ourselves. All anybody does as a healer is co-facilitate you to heal. We look at sometimes miracles. The healing was a miracle. What was the miracle? The miracle was everything came together in the highest and most natural order possibly could. Recalibration. Expect a miracle. Know that it's not just going to come to you, you're going to co-create it. You're going to co-create it. And so let's take a look at the positive aspects of who you are. Let's take a look at the negative aspects of who we are. And let's make a conscious change in our awareness to say, why am I carrying and why am I dragging all of this negative business with me? It's time to clean house. It's sort of like the hoarders. People see the hoarders. We've hoarded all of this information. We've hoarded all of this negative activity, all of these negative belief systems, all of these negative aspects of possibilities. We become hoarders of them. It's time to let them go. And that's what we're doing. And I know that each of you are going through this letting go process just as I am. But what you're letting go of may be a little different color, shape, or form than what I'm letting go of. But we're doing it, and we're doing it together. The whole world, every human being on this planet is now cleaning house. And some are more resistant to it than others and don't want to let go because what is creating damage is empowering them to be self wonderment. They're in wonderment of their power. And they sound wonderful when we listen to them. But when they tell us, I have something, if you just listen to me, you can have it too. It's like fishing. They're throwing the hook out there because you already have it. You already have it. They just made you believe that you didn't. They made you see yourself as something other than who you truly are. And they know exactly what bait to put on that hook. Let's all become our sovereign self again. The true sovereign self, which lives in harmony and peace, which co-creates balance, which is the light, which is the love that each of us really, 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 really are. For what we've allowed others to do to us for 1,000 years, thousands and thousands of years, was not a failure. It was our innocence. It was our inability to comprehend that somebody would lead us in the wrong direction. And now we are awakening to see that the direction we are headed, both individually and collectively, is not promising us the future that is the one in which we will truly live. It's a future in which a part of us will live and a part of us will disappear and be manipulated into a tool or an object of use for somebody else. The last words in my notes here was the time of recalibration is to listen to our hearts and keep them open, no matter how many times they are attacked and wounded. Hard to believe we have come to this point. And it seems like so rapidly because it's in our lifetime. But in many lifetimes, over and over, we have come to this point together, knowing at a greater level that we would be here for this. And we chose at another level to be a part of this. So come back into your heart. Come back into your power. You have the power. And we have the power in this recalibration process. I'm going to go scroll down through the list of your beautiful words today, because your words are going to speak to me just as my words have spoken to you. And I want you, each one of you, to feel the love. I want each of you to feel the compassion. I want each of you to feel the oneness that each of us have together, no matter what part of the world we came from, no matter whether we have hair or we don't have hair, no matter what color our skin is, no matter what we eat. We are this beautiful, whole beingness, this field of peace, light, and love. It has the ability to express itself in form. This is why we're here, to express the truth of what we are in form on a planet that is alive, that has a conscious awareness, that has everything that we do, although science will tell you it doesn't. We are that tree. We are the plants we eat. We are all of this. We are one complete whole. And it's time we stopped using each other. Doesn't mean that we won't all agree to certain aspects of our journey together and surrender or take from or give to. Let's do it in love, not greed, not anger, not pain, not in. Let's stop perpetrating disaster on everything, because the ultimate victim is us. Time to wake up, my brothers. We all breathe light. Warriors come out and play. Recalibrating is the perfect word. Letting go in order to move forward. Sharing the goodness that exists within. Thank you. Again, uplifting humanity. Way showers. You are all way showers. It's not just me. I've just got this little square box here. This is my thing. But you, each one of you, are a way shower in your own space. And be that. I encourage you to be that. Be that wellspring. Be in this precious moment, this lifetime, once in a lifetime moment, that each of you can be your angelic self, whatever that means to you. Suggestion is like it is better to light a candle than to curse in the darkness. Love, light, and serenity. Beautiful messages, because each of you know in your hearts that we're at this crossroads, and each of you know that you have an innate power within yourselves to co-facilitate. We're not doing this alone. I can't do this alone. I can't do it. I do it alone. You can't do what you are gifted to do alone. So gather people around you, associate with people, seek those who help empower you to move through this recalibration. It's who we are, it's where we are, and it's why we are. It's when we are. Did I get them all? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. We are the how. We are the how. Silently resting within our heart space, waiting for that message. Come forth. Come forth and be. Come forth and behold. My dear friend Karina, who I'll be doing a show with tomorrow, or a talk tomorrow, or gathering tomorrow with, where he says and reminds me, we've come from holding to upholding, and now we are to behold. Behold who you are. Behold who everyone else is. Witness from your heart. Know that each and every one of you are a gift. A gift that you came here to present to Mother Earth. And to help her sustain her beauty and her creative power. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. Bless you all, and take whatever resonated with you that I said, and leave the rest. Each one of us are at different stages, and it's powerful for us to accept what we can in any given moment, and know that when we're ready, the next piece will be waiting for us. It'll be right there on the table, waiting for you to sit down to dinner and say, thank you. Bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy. And as the recalibration increases and intensifies in all of us, and all of us as a collective whole, Be aware that your power to send light and love into the world is the most amazing power that you have. So open your hearts wherever you are, even if you're alone, it doesn't matter. And just send love and light and peace to whatever is going on, to whoever is involved, whether they're right, whether they're wrong, it doesn't matter. At this point now, we have to send love to everything. And we have to send light to everyone. This is who we are. Love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. One love, one heart, one humanity. Thank you. See you next Friday or somewhere in the fields around here. Good of the Whole yesterday had Greg Braden on talking about unity. I go to Good of the Whole on Facebook, clip that, get that video, watch that. Very, very powerful. And listen to those who are expressing about unity this week. There's many, many clips and things out around the world now, and tap into what calls you, because this is what it's about. It's about coming back together and wholeness. This is the recalibration. Have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye-bye. If I can figure out how to get out of here, which is always my problem. didn't say I was, oh, there it is. I didn't say I was the brightest light on the tree, did I? No, I'm not. Sometimes my light is very dim, but I love you. Bless you. And I'm willing to show up and be seen. My message to you: show up.